And welcome back to Scissors and Scrubs in this lovely fall season. I'm Nicole.
I'm Laura.
And we are in the month of November,
Yes,
which
we
is
are.
such a weird, bizarre month because as I'm driving here, I love your neighbor's house. They go straight from Halloween to Christmas. There's no Thanksgiving for them.
There's Chris. I went for a walk today, and it was like later, so like the sun was set by the time I got back, and you can see in everybody's windows, and like they have a Christmas tree, they have stockings, they have stockings. But why does everybody have the Christmas stuff up?
I don't know. It makes me insane because I'm such a like in its time kind of person. So your neighbor's house on Halloween is the most random hodgepodge of shit of decorations to begin with. Like there's a hearse, there's a 10, 20-foot skeleton.
Oh, that house.
Yes. And then I'm coming today and there's like 4 huge wreaths that light up and there's a random tree in the, I'm like.
But they still have skeletons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
know.
It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing ever. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, could they slap a turkey on the lawn for a little bit? Nope. No, we're going to go right to Christmas. Wow. Well, if it lit up, maybe they would.
Yeah.
There was a meme. There was a meme today, and it's this guy's. He's on TikTok. I know you've seen him, and he comes in and it's Halloween, so he's wearing a Halloween, like it's a suit, but it's got pumpkins all over it. And the night's over, and he's like, "All right, Christmas, it's all yours." And then you see Thanksgiving sitting there, and Christmas is in a suit that's got Santas all over it. Thanksgiving's in a white T-shirt with a drawn turkey on it. And he's like, "Wait a minute, it's my turn." And they're like, "Come on." And he's like, what do you have to offer? Christmas, we all know what he's offering. I have candy. I have slutty girls in outfits. Like, what are you bringing to the table? He's like, well, I have stuffing and turkey. And they're like, get out of here. Nobody wants you.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
It's a lot of people's favorite holiday.
It is my favorite holiday.
It's not a big money maker, which is why nobody really seems to give a shit about it.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting. They should put it in another month.
I guess.
Give it its own holiday.
Except I don't want to eat that any other time of the year.
Only because you're used to eating in November. But let's say it was in February.
February.
Big family holiday in February.
Yeah. That would be okay.
It wouldn't be so bad.
No.
So one of the things that happened in November many, many, many moons ago was the discovery of King Tut's tomb.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to talk about King Tut, the curses, and the tomb.
Okay.
We probably could have done it kind of Halloween-ish because it does come into November, but listen, this is the topic you get in this month and you're gonna like it.
Neither here nor there. All right, so King Tut, I got all my information from pbs.org,
also known as King Tutankhamun.
I'm getting to that.
All right, sorry.
King Tutankhamun of Egypt began his rule as pharaoh at age 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
Yeah, how much ruling was he really doing?
Well,
he's over there using the pyramids as like his own Legos. Like, what is he really ruling?
He reigned from 1332 to 1323 BC.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Not a long time. He was guided by 2 different people. I'm never going to get these right. I'm going to say it's A-Y. Was the Grand Vizier, who it's believed was actually King Tut's maternal grandfather. So they think that's Nefertiti's father. And then the other person was, I'm never going to say this right, Horemheb was the commander-in-chief of the military.
Okay.
So he was, quote-unquote, guided by these 2 men. King Tut's tomb was discovered in 1922 by archaeologist Howard Carter. And this discovery leads to so many insights into ancient Egypt. It was one of 64 tombs in the Valley of Kings, but was the only one discovered mostly intact. And his extremely ornate funerary mask was like a fascination to people since 1922. So that is really why he's popular. Is because
he wasn't
his
a
tomb
great king or
was
anything.
intact.
Yeah, it's his death.
Yep. By studying the mummy of this 18 or 19-year-old pharaoh, for decades, scientists have discovered that he had a club foot, which would have caused extreme pain while standing and walking, which could have affected like how he stood, his posture, his demeanor. They have also used CAT scans and 3D facial reconstruction to make a 3D printed model of his face, so they know what his actual
face looks like.
However, they still don't know how he died. Initially, a small bone fragment on the inside of his skull led historians to believe that he was murdered by a blow to the head. But the damage could have been done when they were doing the mummification or when they were excavating. So most experts now do not believe he was murdered. It is also noted that he had a fracture in his kneecap that had no signs of healing, which means it happened almost immediately before he died. Chariots were discovered in King Tut's tomb, and he definitely could have fractured his kneecap from a high-velocity fall from a chariot, but that's not been confirmed. Also, there was a presence of malaria in his mummy, which could be a contributing factor in his death. Like, they think everything kind of all together might have caused his death. Like, he was sick from malaria. Mm-hmm. He's on a chariot in some sort of parade, passes out, falls from the moving chariot, breaks his kneecap, hits his head, and dies. After his death, Horemheb is away waging wars in, Hittites? The Hittites? So I ascended to the throne, the grandfather. He ruled for 3 years until his death, and then Horemheb became pharaoh and ruled for about 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So they were kind of all under that rule of pretty much the same people for 45 years. So King Tut's accomplishments. He ended the worship of the sun god Aten and reinstated the traditional Egyptian pantheon, specifically the god Amun, reversing his father's reforms. So his father kind of, Egypt kind of was going under the father. He also changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamen to reflect the reinstatement, and issued a decree to restore the temples and privileges of the traditional gods. So he changed his name to say, like, no, I'm not my father. And we're going to go back to the old ways. He began the process of restoring temples and monuments that had fallen to disrepair during the Amarnan period. He moved the capital back to Thebes, which is the traditional religious center of Egypt. Trade routes were reopened under his reign, which restored the economic stability of Egypt, because under his father, it was very unstable. But of course, his fame comes from the discovery of his intact tomb, which provided important insight into wealth, art, and burial practices of ancient Egypt.
You ever see the AI they do with him and what he would have looked like?
No.
Not a looker.
Well, I don't know that any of them were. I think most of them were inbred.
Yeah.
But I do remember King Tut's tomb, like the sarcophagus, came to the Museum of Science in Boston, like when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And it was like the biggest thing, like to go and see it. And
that's what you remember? I remember Steve Martin Saturday Night Live doing King Tut. That's all.
No, I don't remember.
That's King Tut.
I can like picture his tomb to this day, like the sarcophagus, because it was so cool.
It'd be kind of cool,
to
see this stuff. So I got my. I don't even. You know what? In Egypt. I don't want to talk about it. My information, we wrote it onto something else, and I forgot to write who I got it from.
Well, some of it's definitely from PBS.
PBS, and I can tell you it was written by David Silverman, published in 1987. Okay. Curse of the Pharaohs, Laura. Mm-hmm. Cursed be those that disturb the rest of Pharaoh. That shall break the seal of this tomb shall meet death by a disease which no doctor can diagnose. Mm-hmm. Reported to have been inscribed on an Egyptian royal tomb. All right. Of the last 100 years, the curse of the Pharaoh's revenge, or the gippy tummy, has been used to describe many ailments in Egypt that tourists get. And you can imagine what that means. The shits. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk about the real curses that have come across, starting with Howard Carter. Who's Howard Carter? Do you know where Howard Carter lived? Highclere Castle. Do you know what Highclere Castle is, for those who do not know? Downton Abbey.
Oh.
That was his house. Oh. He was born in 1874 in Kensington, London. He was a sickly kid who became very interested in the art world, and this led to his love of Egyptian artifacts. As a teenager, he visits William Tyson Amherst Estate. Mm-hmm. Howard Carter's father is a artist. So he's going to this estate to paint William Tyson Amherst. Takes along his little teenage kid. The Amherst estate has an extensive collection of Egyptian artifacts, and little Howie becomes fascinated. He is frequenting the estate multiple times, and he becomes a self-taught Egyptologist.
Oh.
These words. 1891, he goes to Egypt for the first time at 17 to assist in the excavations of the Middle Kingdom tombs. And they are located in, Beni Hassan.
Okay.
So if you just liked Egypt, you were good to go. If you could find somebody to fund you, you could go and start doing this stuff. You didn't
imagine just letting a 17-year-old dig in the sand.
Right. They don't have any kind of, at this time, there's no
schooling
accreditations to make you let you dig. So he joins an archaeologist, and he goes through, over the course of the years, he goes through sites like Amarna, Deir el-Bahari, Thebes, Delphi, and I don't know, I can't even read my own writing, Abu Simbel. If I got those wrong, forgive. They make illustrations. He's tasked with making illustrations of what they discover, and the newfangled camera, he's out there taking pictures and stuff of all the stuff and, logging it and etc. So he did this for years. In 1907, Lord, I don't know why I'm struggling with this guy's name because it's not that hard, but there's a lot of like, it's Carnarvon. That's what we're going to go with, Carnarvon. He is also fascinated by Egyptology, and he is extremely wealthy.
Nice.
So he decides to fund a British expedition to Egypt, which, God bless, Howard Carter gets to go on. But it comes to an extreme halt because it's 1914 and the World War I has just broken out. So in 1914, Carnarvon, he gets a license to dig where they think the king of the tombs, the tomb of the king Tutankhamun rested, but the war has slowed them down. So in 1922, quote, a boy who worked as a water fetcher on the excavation started to dig in the sand with a stick, and he found a stone step. He calls Carter over to the stone step, and he finds the complete stairway to the entrance of Tutankhamun's thing. So the kid's just like, like, boink.
These kids are just fucking around.
Yeah, in the desert. And imagine what you can find in Egypt. Just imagine, okay? So they find these flight of steps that leads down to a sealed door in a secret chamber. Everybody loves a good secret chamber.
I'd be very afraid.
Oh, I don't know. I think think it was cool. I never would have thought, I'd
cursed. Do it, but I'd be a little afraid.
So November 26th, 1922, Carter and Lord Carnarvon enter the tomb where they find an immense collection of golden treasures. Now, this is just the antechambers. So that's in November. It isn't until February 16th of 1923 that they open the innermost chamber and find the sarcophagus of King Tut. Now enters the curse. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So, the first to get hit, Lord Carnarvon, the financier of the expedition, is bitten by a mosquito while shaving in Egypt. He dies from sepsis in April 5th, 1923. So that's what, 3 months, 2 months after?
Yeah.
Okay. Just before his death, he gets a letter from Marie Corelli, a novelist. She writes a cautionary tale to him saying, quote, that the most dire punishment follows any rash intruder into a sealed tomb. And boom, he's dead. Okay. May 16th, 1923, a month later, George J. Gould I passes away from a fever following a visit to the tomb. Okay. A.C. Moore, he's a member, this is a little later, so we're going to talk about Prince Ali Kamel Fahim Bey. That's quite a name.
Yeah.
He is a victim when he is shot dead by his wife in 1923. Then George J. Gould, I already talked about him. A.C. Mace, member of the excavation crew. He dies of pleurisy and pneumonia, April 6th, 1928. Captain Richard Bethel, who is Carter's secretary, is smothered to death in his bed at the Mayfair Club, 11/15/1929. Do you know who's almost born at this time? Tanitsi.
Ooh.
That's how old she is. She was around when they discovered King Tut's tomb.
Curse.
She was around when they discovered the tomb. Sir Bruce Ingram, he receives a mummified hand from his friend, Howard Carter.
Howard, you can't just
He's
chop
chopping
off the
people.
mummified hands.
Well, what does he do with it? He uses it as a paperweight.
Oh
Who's going to put a
gosh.
fucking mummified hand on the
I think
desk?
you might.
I would not put a mummified hand. A mummified thing you would, Mike would, yeah. Mike would frame it and hang it down here in the basement.
Yeah, it'd be down here. There is probably something down here.
It's hanging up with this number.
That I ignore.
There's something about mummified anything I find extremely disturbing. That leathery brown, weird skin shit. Okay, well, he keeps us as a paperweight. Well, what's going to happen? His house burns to the ground. To the ground.
Wow.
And then, last but not least, Howard Carter himself. He dies from lymphoma. March 2nd, 1939, 16 years after the first victim of King Tut's tomb. So the thought of the mummy curse is so believable that Mussolini ordered the removal of his gifted mummy to avoid succumbing to the curse. Too bad he didn't send it to Hitler.
We should have left him.
Okay, so it has been kind of defunct about what they actually think happened to the people who had entered the tomb. So they're saying that a handful of these tragedies resulted from toxic levels of radiation from the uranium and poison wastes that had remained inside the tomb since it was closed over 3,000 years ago.
Right.
Exposure to these can lead to cancers, one of which killed an archaeologist named Howard Carter, and who was the first person to enter the tomb. So he died, they're saying, a heart attack after a long battle with Hodgkin lymphoma, but that obviously is a kind of cancer you could get. I don't know where the Egyptians were getting uranium and toxic poisons, but hey, whatever.
Well, I mean, they'd have to be like gases and stuff in there.
Yeah, but how did they find it? Isn't that true?
No, I mean, like, I think probably from like the bodies and stuff.
Well, maybe, and they were digging.
Yeah.
So they talk about Lord Carnarvon, that he had blood poisoning 5 months later. And the British Egyptologist, I'm like struggling tonight. Egyptologist Arthur Weigall, he is started with creating the curse of the myth, and he died of cancer at 54 years old. So they're thinking that if they died in their 50s, they had other conditions that could have been contributing to it, like malaria, exposure to the radiations, asphyxia, stroke, diabetes. They died because they were old age. It isn't the curse. But I do think it's kind of weird. He's got the hand, the house burns to the ground, another one's smothered, another one's shot. Yeah. How do you explain those?
It's a little weird.
How do you explain those?
They were probably cheating on their wives or something.
I bet you they were cheating on their wives. So it's, and as I read before, they finish off in this article that explicitly inscribed in some of the tombs was, they break this tomb shall meet death by disease that no doctor can diagnose, which at that time, cancer probably was unknown to all. So that's a little tidbit for you before Thanksgiving. It's a little appetizer for the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? I think you're going to like that. Feel free to write in. Talk to us. Christmas is coming. It's going to get a little crazy getting around here for Christmas. Yeah. Kids are coming home and etc. But we're always good for a good email and a good story. Yeah. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsandscrubs@gmail.com.